Hello, my lovelies, and a very warm welcome back to The Library is Open. So I hope you've brought your library cards, my darlings. It's time for the first in my series of most anticipated books of the year, which I'm calling 23 for 23. Now, this year I'm going to do this in 3 parts, so I'm going to do it quarterly. So I'll do 8 exciting upcoming ones in this month, which is January. Then I'll do another 8 in May, and then I will do mathematics, please, here, Stuart. Another one in September, which should bring us to 23 by the end of the year. So I'll try and do this as snappily as possible with lots of lovely graphics. So without further ado, let's look at the books that I'm most looking forward to diving into this year. First out the gate for 2023, and releasing this very week, in fact, on the 19th in the UK, we have a debut novel by an art history professor. This is The Cloisters by Katie Hayes, and is described as combining the atmosphere of The Secret History with the sinister thrills of Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. And this concerns a group of art researchers and an invaluable 15th century tarot deck. It's also described as a dark academia classic in the making. Taking us into February and releasing on the 2nd of the month, we have the new novel from Laura Purcell, The Whispering Muse. Laura Purcell, of course, the author of The Shape of Darkness, which I read last year. And this is described as a gothic tale of bargains and vaulting ambition as an actress makes a pact with an ancient Greek muse to become the greatest performer of all time. Also out in February, we have the latest from the fantastic Rebecca Mackay, author of The Great Believers, amongst other books. This is I Have Some Questions for You, and it comes out on the 23rd of Feb. This is described as an irresistible mystery which doubles as a penetrating piece of social commentary. Thank you, Waterstones. And it follows a successful film professor and podcaster Bodhi, who returns to the New Hampshire boarding school where a classmate was murdered nearly 30 years ago. Taking us into March, we have a debut novel from a Brooklyn-based writer and practicing therapist. So this is Julia Bartz's The Writing Retreat, and it comes out on the 2nd of March. This is a dark, atmospheric feminist offspring of Squid Game, The Hunting Party and Misery, according to Waterstones. And it involves 5 attendees who are selected for a month-long writing retreat at a remote estate. But when they arrive, they discover they must complete an entire novel from scratch, with the best one receiving a 7-figure publishing deal. But then the women begin to die. A little bit of sci-fi as we stay in March now, and a new one from Lee Mandello, whose Summer Sons I read last year. This is a novella, so quite a nice quick one, called Feed Them Silence, and it comes out on the 14th of the month. And this one is about a doctor who uses a neurological interface to translate her animal subject's perception through her own mind to chase both her scientific curiosity and her secret lifelong desire to experience the intimacy and freedom of wolfishness. Our first non-fiction now as we head into the 4th month of the year, and this book comes out on the 18th of April, and it is The Forgotten Girls, an American story by Monica Potts. So this is a memoir and a tribute to the power of friendship and a searing exploration of poverty and substance abuse. This has been likened to, or rather is for, fans of Educated and Hillbilly Elegy. And it looks at the expectancy for life for women in Arkansas through the eyes of a journalist. Firmly ensconced in April, we have a fabulous thriller now and a possible contender for most lurid cover, and I mean that as a compliment, of the year. Coming out on the 27th of the month, we have Alice Slater's Death of a Bookseller, which is dark and macabre, apparently, and it's a crime debut for the author, which finds 2 booksellers drawn towards each other in a sinister game of obsession. And finally, to round off this instalment, and also coming out on the 27th of April, we have another non-fiction. This is Men at War, Loving, Lusting, Fighting, Remembering 1939 to 1945 by Luke Turner. in which the author approaches the legacy of the Second World War from a new perspective, looking at alternative histories of psychology, sexuality, and the emotional inner lives of a broad range of men at the heart of war. And there we have it, my most anticipated reads of the year for 2023, part 1. Do keep your eyes out for part 2 in May and part 3 in September. Drop me a comment below about any that you're particularly looking forward to. These could be things that I've featured or things that you also know about that I haven't mentioned as yet. Obviously, there's tons of stuff coming out that I can't get to, otherwise the video would be 3 hours long and nobody wants that. Look forward to hearing from you in the comments as always, my loves, but in the meantime, put your library cards somewhere safe, for the library is closed, albeit temporarily, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye. Mwah.